Hey, it's Levi here, and today we're gonna take a look at this Gibson Explorer. We're gonna plug it in, put it to the test, see what it can do, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think of the guitar and whether or not I recommend it to a player like you. Quick rundown of the specs. We got a 3-piece mahogany body, a 1-piece mahogany neck, a rosewood fingerboard with dot inlays, medium jumbo frets with a 12-inch radius, 22 frets on a 24.75-inch scale length, and the neck profile is the slim taper. Accordion nut with a 1.7-inch nut width. We got chrome hardware with your Nashville-style tunematic bridge, stop bar tailpiece, 4-ply pickguard, and a nice metal jack plate for the output jack. We got 2 humbucker pickups. This is a 500T and this is a 496R. These are ceramic pickups, which I think was a really good choice because basically this gives us a higher output and gives us a lot of clarity on a clean tones, which I really like. All right, so this guitar looks pretty heavy metal, but my first question for it is, can it do a clean tone and what does that sound like? So we're gonna plug this into my audio interface and I am running a clean Marshall amp sim. Let's give that a listen. So we get surprisingly good clean tones from this amp. It's actually really impressive to me because when I first plugged into this guitar, I kind of assumed that I wouldn't be able to get a great clean tone due to them being humbuckers. But I think the ceramics do a really great job of maintaining that clarity at these really kind of lower gain settings. Let's turn the tone knob all the way up so you can tell what it sounds like when everything's fully dimed, how most people play the guitars anyways. Neck pickup. Both pickups. It just kind of goes to show that players like the Edge had kind of a really cool idea of taking a really kind of pointy, obscure, kind of crazy looking guitar and then playing really beautiful, clean licks on it. Now I'm sure his version had different pickups, but it just goes to show this thing is definitely not a one-trick pony when it comes to your tones. Now let's get into some high gain. All right, next up we are gonna run this through my favorite amp sim, which is a Mesa Mark V. Let's listen to that. Alright, so I think it sounds pretty cool through that Mark V, but I was thinking it might be good to show you something a little bit more structured, something that has some drums and bass in the mix as well. So I've recorded another one, but this one is using the PRS Archon amp match, so let's give that a listen. Alright, so this can definitely do that kind of heavy metal tone as well. I think it all just depends on how you pair this with an amp, right? So if you pair this guitar with real amps, let's say you paired it with like a Fender Blues Jr., and then comparatively, let's say you put it through a Mesa Boogie, they're gonna sound totally different. And that's kind of the thing with electric guitar is you can really shape this guitar sound into anything you want. I mean, things are really flexible when it comes to electric guitar. So ultimately, I guess the question would be, can it do super clean sounds and can it do super high gain sounds? Yes, it definitely can. What about sounds in between? Let's take a look at that. So here are my pros and cons for this particular guitar. Number one, on the pros, it looks cool. I think that's unmistakable. It looks very rock and roll. And I think that, a player that's gonna play this, hopefully is gonna play this on a stage so it can, be shown, be seen in front of an audience, because basically this thing will look cool on your wall for sure, and it'll look cool on the stage. However, when it comes to the ergonomics of actually playing it, I find it a little bit cumbersome to play. That's just my opinion. Now, I would say that that's a con. It's a little bit heavy, it's a little bit cumbersome. Now, on the pro side, we got good build quality. Now, this is a thing where Gibson has gotten a lot of hate, especially in this era of, you know, shoddy build quality. This particular one feels really good, really solid. I have no complaints with the build quality on this guitar at all. Another pro, which I really like, is the nitrocellulose finish. I think that that looks really, really nice, and it's cool to be able to see that kind of wood grain even under that black paint. Another pro are the pickups. I think these pickups are awesome. They sound really, really good. I've actually seen these models of pickups in various other Gibson style guitars, and now that I've played them, I definitely would source them and put them in a guitar that I would play often because I like that ceramic goodness. Another pro is the tuning stability. I've watched a whole bunch of reviews on this particular guitar, and everyone is saying that tuning stability is rock solid, and that's something that I've found too with playing and recording with this guitar. It's been pretty nice on that front. Now, the next pro that I've got is the neck. Now, I find this neck feels really chunky for my preference. It feels to me like that Les Paul style kind of thick neck. However, I know that this one is the slim taper one, which is actually a different profile than your 59, your thicker neck, right? So I think this still scratches an itch for a thicker neck. However, it's not to the point where it is as thick as like a traditional Les Paul neck. I definitely think it's shreddable. It felt good. I felt like I could play on it. It's actually very, very similar to my Gibson SG. So that's a guitar I'm used to. So naturally, I'm used to this one as well. And as for the cons, this thing has a really, really big case, and it's kind of a weird guitar where you can't really put it in a gig bag. I mean, you maybe could get a special Explorer gig bag, but I wouldn't trust it. I would definitely want to be toting this around in the hard shell case for maximum protection. But the thing is, like, the guitar itself is pretty heavy. It's around 8 pounds, and that case, you know, it doesn't fit in the trunk of my car. So with me having a fairly small car, it's tricky to move around with. However, how it looks on stage probably pays off for that kind of downfall of the actual practicality of this guitar. Another con that I felt was that, to me, the bridge being so far this way feels a little bit awkward. Of course, I'm used to playing an SG and a Les Paul where they're a little bit back, like not very much further back, but just a little bit. So it took a little bit of adjusting, and then I kind of found that I wanted to move the guitar over more this way, and then it's so heavy on this side, right? So a lot of people say that this guitar is very balanced, and it kind of is if you can get it in the right spot, because it has the weight over here and the weight here. But honestly, this guitar is best played with the strap standing up. I'm not a huge fan of playing it sitting. It's just a little bit awkward for my liking. So would I recommend you buy a Gibson Explorer? Well, basically, I would say you should definitely go for this guitar if you want to make a statement on stage. Basically, if you want to have a cool looking guitar that's flashy, that stands out, that makes you a little bit more memorable than all the people with all their standard basic Strats and Les Pauls, this is definitely the guitar for you. If you play like hard rock, heavy metal, stuff like this, I think aesthetically it fits that niche pretty well. I wouldn't necessarily say, oh yeah, you should definitely play this if you're a country player or if you're a funk player or something like that. I'd probably say find something that's a little bit more tailored to that niche, but I think for rock and metal, this thing is great. Yeah, I'm really happy with it, and it's just a cool guitar, you know? Now, I would not recommend this guitar to beginners or people with back problems or people that are literally just sitting at home playing their guitar for themselves, because it's just not that comfortable to play. It's not that ergonomic, and ultimately, I think that its aesthetics are what this guitar is all about. It's not really all about the sound on this thing. Now, of course, as guitarists, we're gonna take a look at the sound and try to figure out what it is, what does it sound like, what can we do with this guitar. And I would say you could pretty much do anything you wanted with this guitar. These don't have coil taps, unfortunately, so you can't do like single coil-esque tones. However, as you heard in the clean tones, you can get a lot of brightness and clarity out of these pickups, which is really, really cool. So I'm curious about what you think. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this guitar. Is this something that you would go for yourself, or is this not your style? I'm definitely curious to hear your feedback in the comments below. And that about wraps it for this one. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this is helpful. I will encourage you to hit the like button, consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now, guys.